guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. If you watch my recent videos, we made these gorgeous, what we're calling the, the use up scraps. So the scrap buster cluster books. So yeah, really excited. Now I have to say I found them really quite addictive, and I literally couldn't wait to actually kind of get making a second one. So, and of course, yes, there was that part that, I now want to hoard it and not use it. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try and make a second one, and maybe then I will be able to make myself use one or the other of them. However, I prefer the second one probably to the first one. So now I'm trying to hoard both of them. So I must stop that, honestly. I must stop it. But I have put a couple of blanks together. So hopefully I'm going to do, a couple more of these in slow time. They do take, quite a long time to make, obviously, because you've got a lot of clusters put in there. Now you can see this is 2 of them. So, the idea was that they would be able to, slot neatly onto your shelves, and that's how you're going to keep all your clusters kind of together and neatly organised. So you can see, my second book, which was this one, has turned out bulkier than the first because, like all these things, we get more elaborate as we kind of do it more and more. So it has turned out bulkier. It's got to be said, I probably used kind of bulkier trims and things like that. And yeah, just kind of went, more elaborate with each of the clusters. But, they're still kind of quite flat to be able to put them on the shelf. And, as we talked about before, so you've got your collage masterboards books, and then you've got these. Sorry, I've got lots of hot glue threads, flying around in these. So yeah, they're all going to then kind of store neatly on a shelf, which I just absolutely love. So I'm going to do a quick flick through of each one of these, and then we're going to, if I can bring myself, make something using some of the clusters. So I'm going to show you through the first one first, which actually now I'm like, oh, actually I like them both. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to make myself break into this at all. Right, first one. Okay, so the first one that we did. So, you have got a ton of clusters here. Absolutely loads and loads. So, on this first page, actually, I've only got 7, but most of the pages contain 8. But as you can see, absolutely beautiful clusters. And, what's so fun about this was, you're more eclectic and things than you would generally be, possibly, because you've got the background colour of the, the 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Now, if you're wondering about these trims, I have launched my website recently with, my online shop. So my website was there for, it's been there for a few years now. But yeah, I've put my online shop on there, and I did have some trim packs. I only had a couple, I have to say, or, a few, because I didn't have many trims. So I wanted to see how they went, see what types of things were popular. I will be trying to restock those. It's just a case of kind of trying to source things. So, that's what a lot of these trims are, and they're my favourite thing to be using at the moment. But yeah, I will be hopefully putting those into my shop again, in the very near future. So anyway, first page of clusters, that one. Second one, again, you can see the theme here is those beautiful little rosy trims. So just loving them so much. They just look so cute, don't they? So lots of lace, lots of, different things going on. Like up here, I've got this like lovely windmill one. Again, I wouldn't have necessarily put that with any of these colours, but I was kind of dictated by the colour of the 12 by 12 paper. And then, it forced me to be a bit more kind of outside of my normal comfort zone. So, I really had a lovely time. This page here, and the other thing that I love is obviously, not only are they quite different to maybe how I would normally make them, but, we've got such a huge variety now to be able to be using. This page, obviously you can see, up here I've used some of my William Morris scraps, which obviously tie very nicely into the lilac background. But here I've got some of the the damask scraps, which, I would definitely not have put this colour with the lilac ordinarily, but to be honest, doesn't it work really well? So it's just kind of going to show, isn't it, really, that you don't have to always kind of be quite so rigid in your what's the word, I don't know, colour and experimenting, I suppose. So this page, this is probably my least favourite page because it looks very, very, very cluttered and very fussy. That's because predominantly, obviously, this background is very fuzzy on the white with the black. Now, I did mention I could have painted over this with my coffee dye. I can still do that. I'm not going to, but I could still do that, or I could, you know, do that once I tear them out as and when, so that I kind of have some coffee dyed and some not. But to be honest, although it's looking very fussy, again, once they're torn out and used individually, they're not going to look so fussy. So I'm just going to bring it up again to the camera to just show you a little bit closer some of them. You know, and you can see that although they're looking quite busy, if you kind of isolate per cluster, they're actually not as busy as they first appear. So that's those. Then we've got this page. Absolutely love how some of these clusters turned out. They are, yeah, just gorgeous. This is probably my favourite page in this book. Actually, I'm not sure now because, yeah, I did really love some of these. So again, I mean, I love this boot on here, and orange is not really a colour that I particularly use. This was an overspill of paper, sorry, when my printer was running out of ink. But it looks really pretty, doesn't it? Love like this one, and I absolutely love this one. So, you know, it's really kind of fun how you can just, you know, make things that you wouldn't necessarily normally have come up with. So yeah, really, really love it. And then this is the final page. So yeah, we've got, I mean, if we assumed that we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 clusters per page, like I said, there was that one page that I think only had 7, but on the whole we've got 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages in here. So 10 pages of 8 clusters. So that's 40 clusters. Sorry, not 40 clusters, 80 clusters. Sorry, my maths went askew there. 80 clusters contained all in this little tiny neat book. So, I mean, definitely much neater than having like 80 clusters laying around. And in my case, they'd be dropping on the floor and what have you, never to be found again. As I said, this page has only got 7, so it's actually 79 clusters, but that's a lot of clusters in this book. Oh, I'm so sorry. As soon as I get talking, my voice is then going. So, yeah, 80 clusters, you know, approximately. So that's book number 1. That was the first one that I made. The second one that I made that I did say, I think I perhaps even prefer this one, although now I'm flicking through, I'm like, maybe not. Oh, yeah, maybe. Okay, so some of these were not double-sided papers. Those were double-sided. These are, a lot of these are single-sided. But like we said, it doesn't matter because obviously you're only using one side. So we've got loads of these beautiful clusters here with, again, lots of those lovely rosy trims, which are kind of my favourite things to make. I have included a few of my little, what do you call them? You know, the puzzle piece freebie that's on my website. So that's over on shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. That's the freebie that I launched at Christmas. So if you haven't accessed that, do go over and, you know, help yourself to that freebie. So yeah, love this page. I mean, even this, I mean, so simple. It's just some book page. You've got the pretty pink of the background page, obviously there. You've just got this gorgeous little film strip, some lace, and then a little rosebud. That's all that's on there. But how gorgeous does that look? I love it. Absolutely love it. Then we've got this page, absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, yet again, really mixed things up. Sorry about this. I'm constantly picking off the glue threads that are sort of laying around on here because I used a lot of hot glue. It's just got strands and strands of hot glue going across here. Yeah, it's just so fun because it's got such an eclectic mix. So, I mean, we've got the lovely cottage here. That's just from one of my, you know, fussy cut packs for the glue book packs. You know, we've got the buildings here from the London collection papers, you know, all sorts of different things. The shoes, the rabbit, you know, we've got tons and tons of different looks to use here. And they're all just kind of contained neatly in this book. Oops, little trim I didn't use. This page here, again, kind of mixing up colours and things that I wouldn't necessarily have, you know, put together. I mean, like for instance here, this shoe on the lilac, or not lilac, but you know, the purpley background. I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily mixed that with the brown, but my goodness, doesn't it look so pretty? I mean, it works just perfectly, doesn't it? I've got this one here, again, with that gorgeous, beautiful, you know, blue butterfly strip. It just looks so pretty. We've got a little wax seal piece here. I mean, they're just really, really lovely, aren't they? This one here, we've got sort of a half a butterfly on some lace here with that little boot. Again, that's from my freebies that are on my website. Got this little image here from the Great Expectations kit. I mean, they're just absolutely such a gorgeous mix of things. Again, this one here, just love it. This one here with some, obviously, the rosebud, you know, trims and things. Then we've got this page here, much more kind of neutrally based page. You know, the rest seem quite bright, but this one's sort of more neutrals. But, you know, equally pretty, isn't it? I just absolutely love it. So I've got some of my dictionary definitions there. You know, little bits and pieces here, lots of layering going on. Just absolutely gorgeous. Put some pearls on, some of this pretty pink lace trim. Just looks lovely. Look at this feast for the eyes. Oh my goodness, how pretty is this page? Oh, I just absolutely love it. I can't tell you. I mean, I've literally only just that second finished this particular book. I had been working on it, you know, for the last few days. So literally I finished it and I thought, right, no time like the present. I'm going to get straight on and, you know, do a video with it. So yeah, absolutely love, love, love this page. I mean, look at this cluster here. How absolutely scrumptious does that look? I love those colours together. And yet again, I would never in a million years have put this blue with the greens and then the pink flowers. But it just works, doesn't it? Looks so, so, so pretty. So, you know, I think definitely for me, I've come up with clusters. I'm not saying kind of, you know, way nicer than ordinarily, you know, clusters kind of thing. But definitely sort of push my boundaries because obviously I've been using the colours that were here, but mixing them with colours that, you know, I wouldn't have necessarily normally chosen to put together. So yeah, I definitely I think I've come up with, you know, probably the most exciting clusters that I've done for quite a long time, to be honest. Again, this page here, absolutely love it. Lots of roses going on this page, but it's just so pretty, isn't it? Oh, just yummy, yummy, yummy. And look at this page. Oh my goodness, I just love it. I'm so sorry to be doing this. And I did say, and I've said this before in videos, you know, because I said to my daughter, oh my gosh, am I sounding like I'm just loving my stuff? And she was like, yeah. So I'm not trying to say, oh my goodness, look at what I've made. But I'm saying, oh my goodness, you know, I'm so surprised at how things have turned out. And they just look so pretty to my eyes, you know. And yeah, I mean, that's what crafting should be about, isn't it? It's using all those things that you absolutely love. Love this one. You know, and coming up with something that you just really, really, really love and cherish. Now this page, oh my goodness. Look at how gorgeous and yummy that looks. I mean, to me, this whole page looks like it's stepped out of a Cinderella book. So I'm just going to do this quite close up so as you can see it. Isn't that just like the most scrumptious bunch of clusters? They are so pretty, aren't they? There's something to me about the reds with the pinks and, you know, the ivory kind of lace. Oh my goodness, it just looks, well, just, yeah, like Cinderella. I mean, I don't know why, because I don't think Cinderella really had these vibrant pinks and greens, but I guess it's the shoe that's making me think Cinderella. I don't know, but absolutely just love, love, love. Look at this. So again, that's the, oh, I don't know how you say this, parapluie, maybe. It's the French word for umbrellas. It's from my umbrellas kit. And what I've done, I just took one of the larger labels saying that word, layered it up with a smaller one saying that word. These are actually kind of in teal blue. I'm not sure how well this is showing up on camera. Just inked them up with my vintage photo. And then I've just put them on this, which again, I think this might have even been a misprint of some of the, well, these are some of my new collection papers that I'm working on at the moment. So for this vibrant pink, I've put one of my little roses down there, some rose trim, and this, oh, I don't know what colour you'd call this, but yeah, a kind of very pale goldy colour, I suppose, lace with some black trim, you know, the black faux diamante trim. That's all that's on that cluster. But oh my goodness, what a yummy, yummy, yummy colour combination that is. And set on this background, which is in itself a sort of goldy, I don't know, goldy toned brown type paper, it just looks absolutely yummy, 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 doesn't it? So yeah, I don't know whether I'm the only person who thinks that or whether you will agree, but oh my goodness, I'm just loving it so much. So that's that page. And then the final page, again, we're on that pink backgrounds. And again, a big variety of different things. Love this one here with the shoe. We've got this one here. I mean, as you can see, I'm a little bit drawn to pinks, but you know, you've got a good mix in here is what I'm trying to say. So although I have gone a lot of pinks, you know, because that's, you know, something that I'm kind of drawn to, I have also got some other, you know, other colours that aren't pinks and things as well. So I've got a lot of different things to work with. Now I've done another flick through of them. I'm not sure which one I prefer, to be honest. I really, really love them both. Perhaps you could let me know below which one you like best. Yeah, let me know below which one you like best. I think I do still like the second one best. It's got to be said. So I'm going to hoard this for a little bit. Yeah, and we're going to work with this one. Now, oh my goodness, can I bring myself to? Is the question. Oh, I must. Right, okay, so yeah, I'm going to try and work with this. So again, sorry, I did forget to say. So this obviously, you know, same amount of pages. So we've got, you know, 80 clusters all contained in here. So just loving it, loving it, loving it. And as we said during the making of these, you know, even if you made it and you hoarded it, you've still had all of the pleasure, all of the enjoyment, all of the kind of therapeutic kind of craftiness of making this. You know, I'm not saying that this is a journal. You know, obviously you'd struggle to fit any journaling in on here. Although, having said that, you have got the reverse of all of the pages that you could journal on. So there is that. And I'm not saying it's an art journal. Of course, you know, it's not either of those things. But what I'm saying is, you know, if you make one of these and then you can't bring yourself to use it, you know, I think that's still fine, because you've still had the pleasure. You've still used up a bunch of scraps. You've still used up your 12 for 12 papers, you know, and then you've still got the absolutely gorgeous pleasure, or, you know, the gorgeous piece, finished piece that you can take pleasure looking through, you know, after it's completed. So, you know, for me, I think that's kind of part of it, is actually just having something beautiful at the end, and, you know, that you've enjoyed the process in the during part. That's kind of good enough, isn't it? You know, so if you then can't bring yourself to use it, I think, you know, I think it's okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull in some collage masterboards, because when we were making this, we talked about the fact that you can have this, you can have your collage masterboard scrapbook, and they're just literally, I mean, to be honest, if you made a bunch of these, you know, if you are, yeah, that way inclined, and like me, you get a bit hooked on making these, because like I say, I've already bound a few that I'm planning on, you know, doing kind of maybe when I'm watching TV and things like that. Then to be honest, you know, you could just even have like a whole shelf just full of these. You know, you could have kind of 4 or 5 of these, and then you could have 4 or 5 of your collage masterboard scrapbooks. And then, you know, you could do like a potluck, like, oh, I'm just going to grab this one. I'm going to grab this one. You could shut your eyes and be like, oh, let's pick a page, right? I'm going to just tear out, you know, this whole page, and we're just going to use these clusters with, you know, oh, shut your eyes and pick a collage masterboard. You could do it like that, you know, like sort of the randomness of a reverse collage masterboard. You could have that kind of process, you know, making it quite an exciting, what's the word? Oh, unplanned, exciting, unplanned, kind of spontaneous crafting, you know, not event, but, you know, oh, what am I trying to say? I'm losing the ability to talk. Experience is the word. So yeah, definitely I have loved making this. So please share below if you have made one of these, or if you loved the idea and you plan on making one of these. Please share photos if you know, if you made one of these, how it looks now, how it's turned out. Do you think this is a good idea? You know, this is probably the thing that I've been most excited about out of everything I've made for like a really, really, really long time. So I hope that you guys really share my excitement. It's maybe unfounded. Right, I'm going off to grab my collage masterboard and then we'll come back. Right, I'm back. So I've got my collage masterboard that we kind of, you know, made in some earlier videos. So do I want to just randomly pick a page? Am I going to be that brave? Oh, you see, I want to hoard everything. So for me, randomly picking a page is a bit like, oh, will I be able to bring myself to use the page that I've chosen? I'm not sure, to be honest, whether I will be able to. So yeah, let's just take a page, shall we? So do we want to go bright or do we want to go neutral? Let's just go with this page here. So I'm just going to pull this one out. So, okay, now this page is, this book, sorry, is quite wide. So, you know, I've got kind of quite big, or an opportunity for bigger pieces possibly. We shall see. Now, so this is our masterboard that we're going to use. Sorry, oh, I'm so sorry. I've still got that, you know, horrible throat, I'm afraid. So since I'm talking, it's obviously, you know, causing me to then be having a dry throat. Now, do we want to be really, really, really brave and just go through here and, you know, pick a random page? Or are we going to be a bit more, you know, deliberate and actually choose the page that we're going to use? Oh, I don't know. You know why? Because I'm like, oh, well, which page can I bring myself to use, you know? I mean, obviously, the page I like least is this one because it looks very, very busy. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, perhaps I should go for this page because, you know, I'm liking this least. Oh, shall I? Shall I? And if I do, which side of the page shall I go for? Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear the whole page out. So when you come to use these, you could, of course, you know, tear your clusters out, you know, one by one. Or you could just tear the whole page out. So I'm thinking just tear the whole page out. Now, which side, which side? I'm thinking this side, weirdly enough. Right, okay. Oh, gosh, this is like really a nightmare. Yeah, can't quite bring myself to actually tear into it. So hopefully it's going to tear out reasonably easily. Obviously, because you've got the stitching, you know, from the sewing machine. So that's kind of like a little guide there to be able to tear your pages out, okay? And then the other page is obviously still held into the book. So it's all still kind of neat and tidy. Okie dokie, right. Oh, that was really, really, really hard to actually, you know, tear that page out. Right, okay, I have done it now, so I must stop now going on about it. Right, now on here, do we want to make tags? Do we want to make pockets? What types of things do we want to make? Obviously, if we want to make tags, this will need backing because, you know, we've got this bright, you know, bright, colourful kind of background, obviously. Or we could just make pockets, or we could make kind of belly band pieces. That would be quite nice. Well, perhaps what we could do is, yeah, perhaps make some belly bands. So I'm just going to have a look and see, just by putting kind of sheets of paper covering. So if I kind of put this down, like say here, thinking, you know, like this could be like a belly band, obviously not the whole of it, but I could maybe do a belly band and then a tag or something like that. So the other pieces, I'm thinking, could we do belly bands like that? Or, let me just see. So this is an A4 sheet. So this is going to give me the size, you know, if I want to belly band the full height, that's the kind of size. So, I mean, actually, I'm only losing a slither. I thought perhaps there was going to be quite a bit left of that, but actually I'm only losing a slither. So to be honest, I could just probably trim this down to kind of like, yeah, whole, you know, whole side belly bands, if you see what I mean. So should we do that? Should we do that? Let's just see. So I'm thinking if we did 4, yeah, I'm thinking 4. So I'm just going to fold this down. Yeah, So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, yeah. Okay, right, so shall we try and tear this? I don't know whether this is going to tear very easily because obviously it's got lots of layers of paper. So I might regret this and wish that I had just cut it, but let's see how we get on. So honestly, no wonder I've got no nails. You know, you would think that I would learn my lesson, really, wouldn't you? But right, so, and then what we can do is obviously fold it again, or just cut it, you know, to make the belly bands. Or actually we could have it like that way. No, I'm going to do belly bands, yeah. Okay, decision made. So, right, okay. Let's just go like that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and obviously you can just trim up, you know, trim up there. Now, obviously, I do need to trim these down because these, like I say, they're obviously at the moment a bit long, you know, to fit on a page. But that's fine. We can trim them down afterwards. So, or not afterwards, but, you know, after I've cut it now. So, yeah, let's do that. And then let's just turn this around and then gauge where we want to have our cuts. So, do we want it kind of like, yeah, probably like that. So I'm just going to just take that little slither off the bottom, and then, yeah, just going to do it like that, I think. So, okie dokie. First one. Right, there we go. So I'm going to just use that as a template for my other pieces. So this one I'm going to, I think, try and keep that sheet music, you know, at the bottom. Just going to trim it up here. Like that. Okay, and then, I mean, this one's very wide compared to this, but, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, these are, you know, what's the word? Not set in stone, are they? You know, we can be eclectic and different. So we're going to have different size pieces, you know, and that's all fine. Oops. Made a very good job of cutting that, have I? Right, so that's that one. For this one, which way round do we want this? Okay, let's have there, I think. So we just cut this one down here. Oops. Like that. Okay, and then this one. Okay. Like that. Right, okay, let's bin these scraps now. So, I mean, very little offcuts, weren't there? I mean, I actually thought these were going to be way bigger, you know, for the page than they were. But, yeah, they're all fine. So, I'm just going to lay these out as we're going to do them, if you see what I mean. So, let me move this stuff because I feel like this is possibly blocking the light a little bit. Okay, right, let's put that up there. Okay, right, let's have a look now. So, yeah, we can just start taking, obviously, the clusters that we want. So, I'm going to just take this one. Now, I like my pieces torn, so I'm just going to tear around, you know, the pieces that I want. So, that one. Oh, she is lovely, isn't she? Obviously, I am going to trim these pieces down. Not trim them, but, you know, tear them down. So if you're thinking, oh my goodness, those pieces are ginormous on there, it's fine. I'm going to tear it down. It's not going to stay ginormous. I'm going to take this bird, just because this bird's looking pretty neutral, and this one is quite a neutral piece. So I'm thinking, stay with the neutrals, because I'm not great at staying with neutral pieces. I mean, really the logical thing would be to try and keep these pieces here, but I don't want to do that because I'm quite liking this one. So, yeah, I think... Right, that's annoying, isn't it? Right, let's just take this down here. Just check. I mean, that's not too bad, actually. They're not as bad as I thought. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that's the thing that we're going for. Not as bad as I thought. I mean, it's not quite the same as, oh, that looks lovely, or that looks amazing, is it? Oh, that's not as bad as I thought, you know. Oh, I was expecting it much worse than that. Oh, I'm so sorry, I had to just clear my throat again. This was the one that I was kind of thinking, and this neutral, not, well, it's not neutral, but, you know, yeah, this was the other one that I was really kind of like swaying towards. Oh no, I'm not sure. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? But when you start then, you know, mixing up unexpected things, you know, actually it's quite surprising how the unexpected things look better sometimes than the expected things. So, right, I'm going to take this down now, make it a better size. So here I've got that, it's not a straight edge, but you know, where we've torn it out from the stitched centre. So I just want to kind of like, you know, make it less straight. So like that. There we go. Oh my goodness, how nice does that look? Love it. Right, let's take this edge down. I mean, I just don't really like any straight edges. So yeah. And I don't necessarily want kind of, you know, huge amounts of the background kind of showing. So yeah, we'll just get rid of, you know, anything that we think shouldn't be there. So let's just get rid of a bit more of that. So there we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that looks really nice on there, doesn't it? Then this one, again, just get rid of that straight edge there. And then this straight edge here, so. Okay. Oh, that looks so pretty, I have to say. This one here, obviously we've got two straight edges. I'm not quite so bothered. I mean, although I have just said about, oh, I don't like the straight edges. Because this is quite small, I feel like they're not really showing very much anyway. Yeah, it's not really bothering me so much. Plus, I'm thinking I could kind of butt that up against the edge, if you see what I mean, which will then detract from the, you know, from it being the edge. Yeah, oh my goodness, I must say I'm just now kind of like standing up, well, not standing up, but you know, leaning up so that I can see from a like bird's eye view. Wow, they look lovely. Hold on. Right, sorry about that. Okay, let's just ink around these. So this is where I said, you know, I could paint over this with some coffee dye. Oh, hold on a second, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's going to be one of those videos, I'm afraid. Right, that was the postman. Okay, now, let's just ink around. Yeah, ink around all of these, because obviously, you know, this was that white and black background, you know, on that 12 by 12 paper, which, you know, that's why I hadn't used it, was because I felt like it wasn't really, you know, wasn't really kind of in keeping with things as I would have liked it to be. But on here, it looks really fine, doesn't it? So, right, I might start with this one because I absolutely love how this one looks, I've got to say. I mean, this is very neutral for me, and I struggle with doing neutral things, as you know. But I'm going to try and keep it neutral if I can, because it does look very pretty. Now I've got some white lace here, so I'm wondering whether I could even do white lace. My natural thing, you know, instinct was going with this colour lace. I don't know really what you'd call this, but yeah, it's that sort of browny goldy type colour, isn't it? But I'm actually thinking white. I'm not saying refreshing, but yeah, I kind of feel like the white actually perhaps looks quite pretty. So again, just going to cut that header piece off. I always tend to do that. So we've got some white down the bottom, and then I might head it at the top as well. So yeah, let's just take that down. I can't believe I've actually torn out a page of that book already. Oh my goodness. I think it needed to be done, you know, kind of like as soon as I made the book, because otherwise there was a whole danger that it was never ever going to get torn into. I mean, which begs the question, will the other one ever get torn into? Possibly not. No, I will try, but it is very hard, isn't it? You know, when you make something that you really love, you know, I do find that just really hard then to actually make myself use things. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. Oh my goodness, I am loving how that looks, I have to say. That is super, super pretty, isn't it? Right, so I'm going to just glue that down with my Fabri-Tac. So let's just get the Fabri-Tac down here. Actually, just before I glue that down, I'm just going to ink around the edges of here. So it doesn't necessarily need it, but you know, we inked around the edge of the cluster piece, didn't we? So, you know, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we ink around the edges of here? So, right, let's just go across here, like that. Okie dokie. Right, that one, and then this one. Okie dokie, oops. Okay, like that. And then now I have got those gorgeous bows, which I'm thinking actually maybe a bow might be quite pretty on here. Oh my goodness, how yummy does that look? Love how that looks. Now that's even got like a little curl of paper, you know, kind of coming up, but actually I think that's really nice and sort of, not saying finishes it off because that sounds weird to say, but yeah, it looks pretty, doesn't it? So let's take this down and just pop that one down there like that. Oh my goodness, how yummy is this looking so far? Oh, I think I've got something on that bow now. Oh, obviously picked up some ink or something, you know, before I've used it. So yeah, going to have that there. Now, do we want to have, I'm just thinking like maybe any postage stamps or anything in the background. Let me just have a look. I often forget to use the postage stamps and it's a shame, isn't it? But this one, I mean, I didn't know that was going to be there, but it just happened that that was there. And how perfect is that colour-wise? It was just like on the top when I opened my drawer behind me. It was actually at the top of the purple, you know, the purple bunch of postage stamps. So it was in the wrong container, but just happens to be the perfect stamp for this. So yeah, like that. Oh my goodness, how yummy does that look? Such a pretty belly band, isn't it? I love, love, love how that looks. Now I'm just going to, you know, Fabri-Tac this on actually. The only reason I'm not hot gluing this, because I would often hot glue this, you know, in a video and things, is because I've used a lot of hot glue on the cluster already. So I feel a bit like, you know, I need to now not soften it, because of course it's not going to soften back up, but, you know, rather than add even more stiffness to it with the hot glue. So yeah, I've used the thingamabob. I'm just wondering whether I can pop a pearl in the centre of that flower. Oops. Oh gosh, come on, stop it. Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm never very good at doing things like that. I mean, I see other people do things like that all the time, and yeah, I just can't seem to get it to look quite right. You know, it always looks really weird. You know, really like plonked on there. I don't know whether that needs bling, to be honest. It looks pretty without, doesn't it? So let's put that to one side. So that's our first one done. Okay, let's do this one because I'm loving how this looks. So again, just going to quickly ink around the belly band piece itself. Okay. So, you know, we talked before about how this is a brilliant, you know, holiday project and things like that, you know, to actually make your collage masterboards. But I mean, actually, this also is a great holiday project to use your masterboards and your, you know, your cluster books, because actually, you know, you could just take in your suitcase, you know, one of these, if you can bring yourself to use it, one of these and one of your collage masterboard scrapbooks on holiday with a bit, you know, bit of glue and a little pouch of lace, you know, I don't know, bling, you know, whatever your favourite thing is to decorate up with. And then you could just make a bunch of things while you're on holiday. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier than that, does it? And, you know, very, very, very minimal supplies required. So, you know, I think, yeah, definitely, I think that would be a good, you know, good holiday project. Right. Oh, I'll flick that into bin. Hold on. Oh my goodness. No. It's going lower and lower into my carrier bag of rubbish. Never, ever, ever will I see that again. Oh, please. That was just going to be the perfect little label, wasn't it? And, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. Because unlike that postage stamp that I would, you know, just managed to open the drawer and it was just there on the top, this, it was there on the top. So, yeah, I just said, oh, here we go. Right. And obviously it's all just clean stuff in my bag. It's only paper. It's not like I have food waste or anything like that in there. But yeah, that was annoying. Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this would be perfect to take on holiday, to be honest. You know, because you'd be able to make a ton of stuff just using, you know, literally your collage masterboard and then your cluster book. You know, so yeah, I think either way round would work as a holiday project, to be honest. You know, holiday project, TV craft, you know, any of those things. But, oh, I'm really, really excited by these. So, oh, I really hope that you guys love these as much as I do. Like I said, I mean, I might just be getting overexcited, but for some reason, this for me just feels like the most exciting idea that I've had for ages. You know, let's be honest. That's not really that surprising, is it? Because, yeah, it's not like we, you know, not like I have a lot of exciting ideas. But, yeah, for me, this feels super, super exciting. So I really hope that you guys think it's really exciting too. Oh, I would be so gutted if if nobody thinks it's exciting and nobody makes one. And yeah, that's sometimes just something that happens, isn't it? You know, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I mean, some of the things that I've done that I expect, or, you know, not expect, but, you know, really anticipate are going to be, you know, really kind of like an exciting project that people will get excited about, actually kind of fall pretty flat. And then the things that you're like, well, you know, will people like that? I don't know. They're the things that then people get really excited about. So I can always remember my Burst in Bloom envelopes, and I felt like they were very, very exciting and, you know, quite a different, you know, different look to kind of some other things, you know, or, yeah, different look. And, you know, I don't think really I've seen anyone do a retake on them, to be honest. Which is just so gutting, isn't it? You know, when you come up with something that you think is, yeah, like really, really exciting. I don't know. But that's just how life is, isn't it? I mean, it's probably the same, you know, for, I don't know, if you were a cook or something like that, a chef, you know, in a restaurant, and, you know, you produce something that you think is going to be like the most popular dish on the menu, and then actually barely anybody orders it, you know. It's probably that, you know, which, I mean, how gutting must that feel? So it's that same thing, isn't it? You know, because obviously, you know, like all these things, and I say this all the time, but, you know, you obviously like, you know, like when you put products in your shop, you know, digis and things like that, you're making them, of course, with the hopes, or in the hopes that people are going to love them. You are making them hopefully that they're going to be well received. Nobody makes things, you know, in the hopes that people aren't going to like them, obviously. You know, you are obviously hoping that people are going to love stuff, you know. And it's the same, isn't it? So if you make something, you know, a bit like, you know, Rachel's paper bundles that she did in her, you know, Rachel's Weekly Challenge a couple of weeks ago. I absolutely loved those, I have to say. Absolutely just loved them. And she's made loads of things that are fantastic, but they just really kind of touched something in me. And I just thought, oh, I really love those, you know. It doesn't mean that they're any better than anything else she's made, but for some reason, I just really, 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 really gelled with them. You know, really, really loved them. And, you know, she may have kind of made other things that she thought were more exciting. And that's kind of like, I suppose, all I'm trying to say, isn't it? That, you know, what you think is going to be kind of like go down really well and you're kind of like really excited about, sometimes actually is is a bit of a shock, because it's like, oh, no one's really bothered by that at all. Nobody really enjoyed that idea at all. You know, and that's just, it's just a bit gutting really, isn't it? You know, when you've got really excited about something, because you want everybody to, you know, share your excitement and kind of also think that, you know, it's a brilliant idea. So yeah, it's just a bit like, oh, what? Nobody else really liked that. Gutted. But, you know, until you put these things out, you don't know, do you? Like I say, you don't know what's going to be, you know, well received and what's not at the end of the day. You know. Okay, but yeah, I definitely think this is a fun thing, and you know, I just love that everything's just compact and you know, condensed, kept in one place. You know, because obviously I think storage is an issue for all of us crafters. So I mean, if you can make things that are then, you know, kind of contained, then that's fantastic, isn't it? You know. Right, so this has got some of that gorgeous rosy trim on there. Oops, I think I've got that lace upside down now. This has got some of that rosy trim, and I'm kind of thinking maybe we could tie that in and use some, maybe, you know, either the top or the bottom, you know, that then brings this whole piece then together. So again, just, you know, very, very minimal touches, isn't it? But, you know, make it look like a cohesive piece very easily. So, I mean, you know, it's not like you're not doing any work. It's that you've done all of your work previously. You know, it took you hours and hours and hours to make your collage masterboard scrapbook. It took you hours and hours and hours to make your, you know, cluster book. So, you know, you may want to hoard it. I'm just saying. Just saying, you may not be able to bring yourself to use it. But yeah, seriously, I mean, you know, all your hard work has been done previously. So although these look like, oh, wow, that's taken no time at all. No, it hasn't taken any time at all, which is awesome. But obviously that's not representative of the length of time it really has taken, because obviously it took a great deal of time to make the collage masterboard scrapbook and the, you know, each individual cluster. So yeah, but I guess, you know, it's going to very much simplify the process of, you know, pulling your ephemera together, isn't it? And, you know, and also obviously storing your pieces. So hopefully that's all kind of like a win-win. Right, do we need another red rose up the top, or do we think that's too much? It may be too much. So let's just try. Let's just have a look. Oh, I can't tell whether that's up the right way or the wrong way. I'm so useless with this. I think that's the right way. I'm not sure which side it needs to go. I think probably the other side, actually. Okay. Like that. Oh my goodness. Doesn't that look lovely? And what I'm thinking is, I just would never have put these pieces together. You know, I would never in a million years have done, you know, married up this neutral masterboard with, you know, this cluster with the blue. I would never then have put those red, you know, rosebuds or anything. But oh my goodness, how gorgeous and yummy does that look? Absolutely love it. Right, so then final one. Let's just take our, you know, ink like that. Okay. So yeah, brilliant scrap buster. And obviously now you may be thinking, well, that's fine, but now she's just got you know, clusters laying around that she's torn out. So you are right, of course I have. But I've only got these little three pieces, and so to be honest, I mean, I could just quickly whiz up something else with these, you know, pretty quickly. I'm not going to do that on video now, but you know, I'm just kind of saying, you know, you could then quite easily and quite quickly put something else together, you know, which, yeah, like, so although you have got leftover pieces, it's still better, you know, than having like 100 clusters laying around. I'm not saying you would have made 100 clusters, but, you know, equally, if I hadn't made the 100 clusters, I would have all that scrap paper and things laying about, you know. So it, yeah, swings and roundabouts. But anyway, like we said earlier, it's all the fun of making, and definitely this was a lot of fun to make. So yeah, a lot of fun to make and a lot of pleasure to look through. Oh, I'm quite liking that, weirdly enough. Yeah. Right, let's put this one down. Okay. So just using the Fabri-Tac for the same reasons, you know, just because obviously these, you know, they've been stuck together with a lot of the hot glue already. So just, you know, going a little bit easy on the stiffening effect, or the continued stiffening effect. Just going to swap these around because that's got that big you know, wonky pot. So yeah, let's put this one down the bottom and then this up the top, because I could then always cut that off, couldn't I? Okay, if, you know, if I want to. Might not really need cutting off, but let's just trim this down. Okay. Yeah, I'll just trim it across there a little bit, and then this one. Okay. Oops. There we go. Right. Oh, I mean, how pretty is this looking? I have got this peachy trim. Just, and the only reason I pulled this in is because I've got this, you know, peachy bow that I'm thinking I will use. So I'm not saying that this is, you know, oops, you know, that I'm going to use it. But yeah, let's just pop this bow on. Okay, oops. Oh, that bow looks like it's seen better days now. It's, oh dear, never mind. Right, I mean, I quite like it with that trim, or we could have the diamante trim. Probably not as much as that. Let's just take that down. Oh yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? Do we want to have any of this anywhere? I mean, that does look good everywhere I put it, it's got to be said. I just saw, oh, here we go, one of my little number tabs, which, you know, I'm just thinking if we've got the black, so perhaps I just make, oops, make this slightly smaller. Okay. I think I've made it too small now. It looks a bit strange, but never mind. Right. Oops. Let's put this on with the Fabri-Tac again. Okay. Like that. Okay. Right. Let's just bin these bits. Okie dokie. And then do we want this here or do we want it at the top? I think at the top actually now. So yeah. Put that there. Okay. Yeah, that looks super pretty, doesn't it? Now I'm just wondering if we need any more. Any more bling. I mean, I do love bling, and I just think, you know, you can never have enough, can you? You know, if you can have more, why wouldn't you? Oops. Yeah, quite like that. I know it's like on its side. Well, it's not on its side, but, you know, kind of like at an angle, but I think that looks quite good. So just glue that down. Right. Put that there. Okay, looking good. Right. Okay. Let's bring in the pieces that we did. So we have made four pieces of ephemera in like no time whatsoever. 4 belly bands using our scraps, using our collage masterboards, using our you know, scrap cluster books, our scrap buster cluster books. So yeah, I hope that you love them. You know, I hope that you really enjoyed the process of the last, you know, few videos where we've made the cluster books. And yeah, let me know what you think. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.